Yes, this is Radio Patches, and of course, we are looking at the Communication Sunday. Annually, we have this celebrated. Father, kindly, as Father Tonino, what do you know about the Communication Sunday and how important is this Communication Sunday for us who are communicators?
First of all, it is for the Christians. They have to understand the importance of communications. Jesus told us to spread throughout the world, to communicate the good news that God is a loving Father that cares for us, that the life has a meaning when we are able to love one another in the way that Jesus loved us. So communication it's always been done from the very beginning. Now we have to use also modern means and the radio, particularly here in Uganda, when not even 30 years ago, 25 years ago, the government started liberalizing the waves, so that giving the license to broadcast. So the Diocese of Arua immediately, the Christians of the Diocese of Arua immediately said, we want a radio. At the time there was Bishop Frederick Drandua,
Yes.
and during the synod that was stressed so much, and so the bishop said, well, let me think, and afterwards we will see. And later on was appointed me and Sherry as the initiator of this new radio that he called Radio Patches, the radio of peace.
Now, ever since this radio came, what has changed when you look at the aspect of communication relating to Communication Sunday from the establishment of Radio Patches as a tool of communication? What has changed in the communication world?
Well, in the communication world, through the internet, so many other things have happened. But radio, the experts say that will always remain. TV is more complicated, it's very much more expensive, and people have to watch. No, they cannot do other things.
They can't move.
They can't move. Instead, with the radio, you can do your work, you can have the radio that speaks, so you can hear and do other things also in the fields at home. So the radio, they say, will always remain.
Why is Communication Sunday itself very important for us communicators and probably for a Catholic?
For us communicators to understand our mission, because it is a ministry for us Christians to use as much as possible the means available in the world to communicate the peace of Christ for all, the good news. So for us it is to understand this is a call of God to me, to be a good communicator, a communicator of a good news. For others to understand that, they might support that, not only listen. We know that Radio Patches with 4 frequencies reaches more than 10 million people in northern Uganda. Absolutely. Then more than 10 million people can listen.
Even online?
Even online, so that goes beyond the boundaries here. We reach Congo and South Sudan outside our boundaries, but with the online, we go to Canada, we go to United States, UK, everywhere in the world. People can listen through the streaming. What is Radio Patches. So this is very important, and for the people they have to understand that everybody can listen to Radio Patches, but who supports it? who supports it. If you have a phone and you are MTN or Airtel, you have to pay. Otherwise, you cannot use the phone.
Definitely.
Instead, for the radio, even if you don't pay, you just listen. And so, but hey,
But there are people who are working on the radio.
we are 140, including all security.
The support staff in
and
general.
Exactly. Here in Arua, in Gulu, in Moyo, in Nebi, in Kampala, doing different type of works, but for one only radio called Radio Pacis.
Okay.
So every month they have a salary. And in 21 years, we never missed 1 month. I know that some teachers in primary schools or secondary school have missed their salary sometimes.
For some months also.
Oh, for some months also. So here, but it is a struggle. It's not easy. It's simple. Of course, we have partners who help us within Uganda and outside Uganda, otherwise would be impossible. Those who come and buy airtime to talk about their activities, their mission, their enterprises, well, they are partners.
Okay.
We help them. We are the voice.
Okay.
We are the voice. So somebody that needs to expand its activity comes to the radio, and through the radio, his activity will be known far and wide.
Let's look at the Communication Sunday of this year. What is the major focus for this year's Communication Sunday? We are simply days away. It's on Sunday. So what is the direction that we are looking at when it comes to Sunday?
Well, it is the most important direction. We have to be very clear, is to pray for this ministry of Arua Diocese so that we can continue to minister and to think about the people, particularly those to bring the voice of the voiceless. Many people would never had the opportunity or the power to go into the studios, but we go to them. We listen to their plight and difficulties, and afterwards we rebroadcast their voices, their issues, their worries also sometimes, and so on. So that is very important.
Okay. Father, maybe lastly, what would be the church or the world without communication?
Well, without communication, Jesus died, raised, but those the apostle would remain there in Jerusalem. But the good news would never have reached here in Africa.
Okay.
But they started communicating and they moved to Athens, to Rome. That at the time there was the Roman Empire, and Paul was a very strong communicator. I wish I could be like him, really.
But you're like him because you already communicate.
But we are trying.
Okay.
That's for sure. We are trying. We are dedicating our lives completely to help people receive a good news, a joy, not punishment, not condemnation, no, because always it is a good news. Peace be with you, Jesus says. And God says, you are my son, you are my daughter. And he embraces us. This is what it means to live here. And afterwards, this life is the beginning of a life that will always continue. The death of the body will not stop this life and this relationship that we have with God through Jesus Christ.
As we do all this, the most important part of it is that as Radio Patches, the communication department of the diocese, we need support. Can we speak to the people outside there to at least support Radio Patches during this Communication Sunday?
No, of
because they
course.
think Radio Patches is rich.
Well, it's rich in the sense that we have the Holy Spirit, the strength of working and caring for the people. When you see all these buildings that they are kept nicely after 21 years and so on, people say, oh, Radio Patches must have a pile of money there. Of course, people helped us, and we are keeping the environment very nice. But you think about salaries every month, you think about technical equipment that does not last forever. Technical equipment, they say 5 years, 7 years, and afterwards they need to be replaced. So it is this ongoing work. For sure, every Catholic should be proud of having the best radio station in Uganda, and in the past we were also declared the best new radio station in all Africa. So this is a point of being happy and proud of this, but also to say, this is my radio station, this is my radio. I want to listen to Radio Patches, and I want to support materially and spiritually also.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Father, for your time. And of course, that is it. As we celebrate the Communication Sunday, we wish you all the best, and we continue to ask for your support for Radio Patches as the communication department of our diocese, so that we move the miles and continue to broadcast the peace of Christ for all. Thank you very much for watching.